Dave, from when you met Brusdar Graterol to what you've seen him do so far in this season, what have you noticed to have been the biggest improvement with him?
The I think the biggest improvement is probably the slider command to the left-hand hitter, to the right-hand hitter. His ability to pitch up in the zone a little bit more. I think for the most part, he's just been a heavy sinker ball guy, kind of a baby slider, but I think now he's throwing his slider harder, and he's kind of pitching up a little bit just to change eye levels, and the command has been really good.
What about his personality? How much have you enjoyed getting to know him?
Immensely. I think that he's probably the most popular player in the clubhouse as far as guys gravitating towards him. So he's just really authentic and sincere. Just learned that he bought his mom a house back in Venezuela. So that's something that he's very proud of, and rightfully so. And just to share that with the guys, just youth, like I've said before, his youthful enthusiasm is certainly refreshing.
Thank you. As far as the Rockies are concerned, a team kind of going in the opposite direction of where your Dodgers are. This was a team obviously that has weapons, but not playing well. Just your outlook on this 3-game set.
We've obviously had success against these guys recently, but every time, Senzatella has been throwing the ball well. Marquez has given us fits in the past, and, those guys in the middle of the order can hurt you at any point in time. So I just think for us, it's just going out there and continuing to play good baseball. I have a lot of respect for those guys over there, the staff. So, yeah, we still have some baseball to play. So I just don't think that the history certainly matters, whether it's tonight or tomorrow or the next day.
With Senzatella, what will you be looking for to expose any sort of weakness?
He's got a good arm. He's got a good fastball. He's sort of neutral versus left versus right. And I think it's for us to understand that he's not going to give in at times with the fastball and just try to keep him in the zone. If we start to expand, then it's going to be a tougher night for us.
Okay, thank you.
Next question is from Ron Kavner. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, Dave. I know you're used to playing division rivals a lot in a regular season, but just the amount that you're seeing the same opponents and a lot of times the same starting pitchers in such a short span, just what's that kind of been like this year?
It's certainly different. Next time there's two of our starters that are going to see the Diamondbacks back-to-back start. So guys typically don't like that on the pitching side. But Major League Baseball, we're trying to make do. And, being safe is at the forefront. So the geography and not crossing timelines makes sense. So kind of there's some compromise and sacrifice. So it is what it is. And I think our guys are doing a great job with it.
Kind of curious now that we're, the regular season's winding down, just now what your impressions have been about the DH and the NL and just what that sort of been like for you as a manager.
I love it. I love it. I didn't think I would appreciate it as much as I do. Just getting guys more at bats and keeping the position player involved. I actually, in particular, like it because we have guys that can really defend. So the DH is essentially used as a day to get off your legs, but still take some at bats. So it's been really good for us.
And we're going to be talking to Gavin, I know, in a little bit today. And I'm just curious because at the beginning of the year, I know he was going through some stuff sort of physically at the plate, just trying to, get the mechanics right. I'm curious now if you think it's been more physical or mental for him that he's kind of going through.
I don't think it's physical. I think there's still an adjustment as far as, the late startup, the late ramp up for him. And he's come into a situation where guys are already in the middle of a season. So for him to feel like catching up to speed certainly is not easy. But like I've said, I just want Gavin to just be himself, go out there and play, help us win a baseball game and compete, and everything else take care of itself.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Got a question from JP Hornster. Go ahead, JP.
Hey, Dave. We're seeing Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin the next 2 days. And just reflecting on the fact that David Price opted out, now Ross Stripling getting traded, Does that send a message to those guys, to Dustin and Tony, that now's their time to really step up and be ready to help this team get that next step, win a World Series?
I think it does, but I hope there isn't any change in mindset or preparation, because certainly the organization, we think a lot of those guys and what they've done, what they're going to do for us. But, how they've gone about things shouldn't change at all. I expect Dustin to throw the baseball well tonight, mix the breaking ball in a little bit more, the changeup in a little bit more, and go out there and fill the strike zone up.
And with Tony specifically, just because we couldn't see him all the time when he was at the alternate site, was he on an every 5th day or every 6th day routine, and what's he going to be on from here on out?
I think he was in every 6-day situation. But, we expect him to be penciled in, whether it's every 5 days, 6 days. And, once we get to kind of the 7 to 10 days out, from the season's end, we'll kind of dig into what it looks like for the wild card series. But right now, we just want these guys to go out there and make their starts and pitch well.
Cool. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Next question is from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Dave, just where was Gavin in your mind during spring training? And just because of his age and lack of experience, did that make him, in your mind, somebody who was maybe affected a little more severely by the quarantine and the shutdown this summer?
In spring training, Gavin was right where he needed to be. Then we shut down, and he went home and worked out very well. And when we got to spring camp, I just felt that there's a lot that goes on with Gavin's swing. And to your young player question, he's used to having the proper build-up to go through 6 weeks of spring training, playing every day in a minor league season, and kind of get going. But this was different. So I think that with all those variables, I just think that Gavin just wasn't dialed in mechanically. So we made that decision. He understood it. And I just think that the guys, the coaches on the secondary site, did a fantastic job. Clayton McCullough and his staff, and got Gavin back. So Gavin is in a good place. It hasn't shown, but I trust him.
Do you think he was feeling any extra pressure? I mean, people were kind of hyping him up as the rookie of the year front runner entering, training camp in this season. How much do you think that plays into, somebody who's
a lot. It plays into it a lot. And whether Gavin, says yes to or no to that question, it's got to impact at some point, because I can't imagine the expectations that have been placed on him. So, but all we can do is encourage him to be himself and go out there and help us win baseball games.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.